Can Gable Steveson become the UFC heavyweight champion one day? One day. I think there's a possibility. I do. Daniel Cormier didn't start his MMA career when he was 30 years old. Gable is like 25, 26. Very young. And thank God that his career in football and in the WWE failed. He can never go back to football. He can never go back to the WWE. He could go back to wrestling, but there's no fame in wrestling. You want the fame? You want the big paydays when you become champion? You gotta go to the MMA route. And, you know, MMA doesn't pay as much as boxing, but it sure as hell pays more than wrestling. Okay? Nobody cares about wrestling. You want to be the UFC heavyweight champion where millions of people around the world know who you are? Then you got to go down that path. There is no other path for Gable Steveson. And I'm glad that he's taking these early fights, beat that bum in LFA, fights in dirty boxing. I was kind of worried about that. I don't want him to do more dirty boxing. Just go in the cage. Pro MMA fights. And now he has a second win. He's now 2-0. I am paying very close attention to his career. Beats this guy, Nick Hine, I think his name is. Not a fat bum. Decent, in-shape guy. 6'2". Let's watch it. We already know it's a first-round knockout, okay? But Gable, freak athlete. Thick. Look at him, man. And he jumps the rope in that dirty boxing fight. He jumped the entire thing. Dude, look at that, man. He's got fast hands. He knocked him out, takes him down. He didn't even know he was knocked out when he took him out. You have to admit, when's the last time we've seen an athletic specimen like this go into the UFC in the heavyweight division? We dream of things like this. We dream of these, you know, these football players, these basketball players. If football and basketball didn't exist, if those sports didn't pay as much, those big guys would be going and doing stuff like this. John Jones, his brothers play football. And John Jones just so happened to go into MMA. You know, there are guys out there like Francis Ngannou, just some random guy from a village in Cameroon, decides to get on a boat and illegally migrate to France, and look how that came out. We have one right here. DC 2.0, possibly, hopefully. You know, many things could go wrong, but the MMA career, it's off to a decent start. His MMA debut was in September 12th, so in the span of 2 months, he's got 2 wins. Again, this dirty boxing thing, it's whatever. Who cares, you know? He might do another dirty boxing thing, but I'm not really caring much about that. But, you know, he's got hands. He hits hard. How does his chin hold up? How does his gas tank hold up? Those are questions that need to be answered. I'd like to see him fight maybe 2 to 3 more times in the regional scene, and then at that point, just sign him into the UFC. It's not going to be like a Bo Nichols situation where, you know, middleweight is a stacked division, but heavyweight, there's only 33 heavyweights, you know? There's only 33 heavyweights, and a lot of these guys at the bottom, Gable could beat, okay? Are you going to look at me in the eye and say that Elisha Ellison can go out there and knock out Gable, right? Can you look at me and say that Lucas Brzeski, I think he got cut, but some of these bums, man, I think Sean Sharaf's not in there. Louis Sutherland, bomb. Max Jimenez, bomb. These are bombs. And even if you go higher up, there's still a lot of bums. Like Mick Parkin. Mick Piggy Porky Parkin, eh? In it. You think Mick Parkin's gonna go out there and knock out Gable? Okay, that's a bad fucking accent. Oh my god. I gotta work on my accents. I gotta work on my impressions. I don't even know Mick Parkin's voice. So I gotta work on shit. But Ryan Spann, like, you know, we're getting up here. Shamil, Tai Tuivasa. Marcin Tybura is just, he's a good gatekeeper, but you just don't know. But then you go up here like Derek Lewis. Like, okay, don't give him Derek Lewis, because Derek Lewis could knock him out cold. I would pick Derek Lewis for that one. Gable needs experience more than anything. He needs to face a little bit of adversity. We just got to hope that he doesn't quit, because we could see a future champion. We have to be honest with ourselves here. And then we go to the top, right? I could see Jailton Almeida smudging him, but Gable could just pick Almeida up and just slam him, Volkov could maybe defend the takedowns. Probably not. Now that I think about it, probably not. I mean, Volkov could pick him apart with the kicks. And you got to hope that Gable doesn't fall in love with his hands, because now he's got, 2 knockouts. The first fight, he took him down. It was ground and pound, but he needs to fall in love with the wrestling, not with his fists. Because we've seen this many times with American wrestlers. They fall in love with their fists, like Sean Brady, not shooting a takedown against Morales, like Justin Gaethje, Bo Nickel, head kicking Rodolfo. They need to fall in love with the grappling. Curtis Blades would be a good fight. And then up here, like, I'm not going to even mention Tom Aspinall and guys like Cyril Gane, okay? Because they would beat Gable right now. I'm excited. I hope he keeps going. Book him another fight immediately against some other guy, whoever it's going to be. And we'll see how long he makes it. Heavyweight is completely shallow, and we've got a giant cannonball about to break the waters into the puddle in Gable Steveson. I'm excited. Let's see how far he makes it. He was born in 2000. He's 25 years old. He's around the same age as me, man. 260 pounds. And he doesn't look fat. That's the thing. He's just a ball of muscle. Like, if you look at his stomach, his belly isn't going over his shorts, He's just a giant ball of lean muscle. And that's what makes him terrifying. Now, there's the rape allegations and all that stuff. Who knows what happened there? You know how things are. I hope it's not true, but it probably is. But we've had piece of shits in the sport, and I don't want to discount that and look past it. But you gotta just hope that it didn't happen. But it probably did. It probably did, man. Which just fucking sucks. But hey, I'm still excited to see him compete. I guess you gotta separate the art from the artist in that situation. I that sounds scummy, because it's a horrible situation, but what can you do? We'll see where he goes. Hopefully he doesn't go to some other career path, but I doubt it. This is his last stop. There's nothing else for him. He has to do MMA. So, yeah, we'll be paying attention to his career. That's all I got for this video. Subscribe to my channel. Peace out, motherfuckers.